You're about to listen to the Weird with a Side of Bacon podcast. We cover weird things, but part of that may include adult themes and content. We'll be talking about things like butts and boobs, and there will be swearing. It's kind of what we do. If there are any kids in the car, you may want to change the channel. Thanks, and enjoy. Hey, sweetie, what can I get for you?
Do you have any of today's specials left?
The weird? Oh, yeah, we got lots of weird.
And can I get that with bacon?
Sure, weird with a side of bacon, coming up. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 5 of the Weird with a Side of Bacon podcast. This is that podcast that you guys know where we cover everything that's weird. We like weird history, we like weird facts, and we like weird social media, and let's not forget about weird news. I am one of the hosts, Trevor, and I like to cover weird history and weird facts, mostly because I like to talk a lot, and I feel like I get to talk the most. And now we're on to our next host, which is Stephanie.
I'm Stephanie. I like to cover the weird social media stories.
And then our other host.
I'm Misty, and I talk about weird news.
The first thing we like to cover on this podcast is any weird personal stories. And I have a weird personal story. So this one is kind of a story for Misty and I. We have 2 children, for anybody that doesn't know. And we have always been very good at like teaching our children equality and diversity and all that. Like, don't be racist, don't be sexist, LGBTQ rights, all this kind of stuff, right? Like we're the people that they say are like woke, okay? People that they call us woke. That's definitely us, okay? I think we might have did a little too good of a job with this. So one of our kids got as a gift a puzzle, and it's a puzzle that is like cartoon cats wearing scarves. It's like a winter puzzle. Okay. So it's got all these different cats on it, and they're all wearing these little scarves, and they started doing this puzzle. And then the next morning they were still working on it. So we just see this, and it's organized in little piles. So we're trying to figure out like, how is this organized? Like, it did not make any sense to us. So our other kid, Mikey, we're like, Mikey, how is Cooper organizing this puzzle? And Mikey's answer was, well, at first they're organizing it by scarf color. At first they were organizing it by color of the cat fur, but they thought that might be racist and changed it.
Normal people
I'm not
do the
surprised.
outside of the puzzle first. No.
Well, I guess I don't know if that's a good. Maybe we overtaught our children, but I'm pretty sure you can organize cartoon cats, not even real cats, cartoon cats by their fur color without it being racist. But apparently, we did too good of a job teaching our children not to see color. I don't know. It was a little weird. So yeah,
Kids.
I felt like
Yeah,
that
but good
was
job to both of you for doing too good of a job.
teaching our children not to be racist by organizing their cat puzzle by fur
Scarf.
color. By doing it by scarf instead, because that's not racist. Kids can be weird.
That's right.
So, all right, which one of you two are going to go first with your weird content?
Actually, you are going to go first this week with your history story.
Oh, I get to go first. Ooh, well, thank you very much, guys. I am going to call this one Necessity is the Mother of Invention. So this one comes to us from Wikipedia. It also comes to us from ABC News article in 2022. And guess what else it comes from, guys?
Your favorite book ever.
Everybody's favorite book, 1,144 random, interesting, and fun facts you need to know by Scott Matthews. A pizza delivery guy invented the Kevlar bulletproof vest after being shot at his job twice. So this guy's a former Marine named Richard Davis, and he was a pizza delivery guy in Detroit. and he invented the Kevlar bulletproof vest. Now, bulletproof vests already existed. In fact, the military at the time, they were using nylon vests. And, they need a lot of layers of nylon material in order to have this thing actually work. But he discovered that Kevlar worked better. But the literal reason he invented this thing was because he was getting shot at work while delivering pizzas.
I don't think I want to deliver pizzas.
Well, apparently it's more, he was in the Marines and he wasn't being shot at as much as he was the pizza delivery guy. I think this just tells you how bad Detroit was in 1969. That this guy's like, man, the Marines were a little scary, but I really need to have some bulletproof vest on in order to get shot at while at work delivering pizzas in Detroit. So he was delivering pizzas to an address that was on a dark alley where 3 guys were waiting for him. And they shot him twice, took his money, and left him for dead, but luckily he was able to survive. One of my favorite parts about this, though, is not only did he come up with this vest, but of course you have to test it. So he initially tested it with a bunch of phone books. So he took some phone books, wrapped them in this prototype vest of his, and shot at it. And the phone books were okay. But then to show how much he trusted this thing, to sell it to people in industry and all that, he would put the vest on, put a gun to his chest point blank, and pull the trigger to prove it worked.
Okay, I have 2 things to that.
Yeah.
First one, who meets somebody in an alleyway to deliver pizzas? That's just wrong. That's crazy on his own behalf.
Yes.
Second, if he's crazy enough to do that, I can see why he probably pointed a gun straight blank into his chest.
That is having faith in your design. It is believed that he did it about 190 times total, where he took and put a bulletproof vest on and shot himself in the chest to prove it worked. About 190 times total he did this.
That's a big no for me.
That would be a no for me just on the first one.
Yeah, because doesn't it usually still leave a hell of a mark? Maybe that's just in the movies. But I think if you get shot wearing a Kevlar vest, it doesn't kill you, but it's got to hurt like a motherfucker, right?
You would think that he would have just went and bought a mannequin. Pretty sure they had mannequins in 1969.
And I'm sure they probably had pigs for pig roasts that he could have used.
Anything but himself to prove that this vest worked.
That's true. Maybe try to find somebody else. Maybe he was the only salesman. I mean, he did it 190 times. Could you imagine if he's looking, I'm looking for other people to help sell this, and here's the best way to sell it. Here, you put this on. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to show you that it works.
Well, maybe he said, I will wear the vest, but you shoot the gun. And his friends are like, hell no, because I don't want the responsibility if it doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah, how does that go? Just explaining that one, we really thought this was going to work.
Well, it worked on the phone books.
Yeah, so Marines, scary, but not as scary as pizza delivery guy.
I still feel like there's a piece of this story missing.
Yeah.
You said there was 3 guys waiting for him in the alleyway?
I'm pretty sure that they literally ordered a pizza for the sole purpose of getting a delivery guy
Robbing
to come
him
there.
and stealing his money?
Yeah,
I mean, back in 1969, how much money does a pizza delivery guy make?
Well, everybody pays cash. You got to remember that no one's paying with a card over the phone. No one's probably giving him a personal check. I bet you cash was king. So these guys probably ran around with a lot of cash.
I understand that, but my point is, was there something that happened prior that these guys singled out the pizza delivery man? Why did it have to be that?
Oh.
That delivery man.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying? Like a drug deal maybe that went bad? You don't know if the pizza delivery guy was hopped up on something.
Or did him as a Marine get these other kids in trouble and he just doesn't remember?
Oh, maybe they had a personal vendetta against Richard Davis here. Maybe Richard Davis isn't a completely innocent party in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about that?
I didn't think about that. I don't think I'll have to call Scott Matthews in his book and be like, Scott, any backup, any background story to this whole thing? I don't think there is. Maybe there should be though.
I can see it now. Hey, Scotty!
Scott Matthews has no idea that we've been talking about him for the last 5 episodes. He's just gonna one day find out. Do you know there's this whole podcast where they're just
This guy just talks about you.
yes, you have this secret admirer that you've never ever heard of.
Maybe
or
we
met.
can get him on the show. I don't know how old he is. I don't know when the book was done, but
I should know that. I'm sure if I look it up, I could find it. It took me a little bit to find the book, but yes, we'll have to look. Maybe we can get Scott Matthews to show up on the show.
even if he's like 80,
I think it'd be okay if he's 80.
he'd have a lot of weird stories.
Stephanie, are you looking it up?
No.
Go ahead, Google girl.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out how old he is.
Does he have like an IMDb?
I think that's movies only database, not books.
Maybe Scott has an acting career we don't know about.
They have a follow-up. 3,666 interesting, fun, and crazy facts you won't believe are true. The knowledge encyclopedia to win trivia.
There's a follow-up book that Scott Matthews did. How have I not heard of this?
It's number 2 on this Goodreads page that I pulled up.
Guys, if anybody's wondering what I want for my birthday, that's it. That's it right there. I need the book. Can we end this podcast early? I have to go order something real quick.
Pause.
I need it. Let me go get this. No, I will get that eventually, though. I really do. Now I really want to have this book. So,
Anyway.
that is my story of Richard Davis, the guy who was shot at twice while delivering pizza and said, I got to do something about this, and invented the Kevlar bulletproof vest. Can I get a bacon rating?
I'm going to say a 3 crispy.
Ooh, I got to be honest. I did not know how good that was going to do. I thought it was very interesting. I didn't know if it would count as weird, but I will take it.
It's not weird, but it's crazy. Like, that takes balls. So, personally, he's a weird dude. I mean, none of us would shoot ourselves.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's probably where it goes really weird is when he's just test driving it. I hope it is like the movies where it knocks you off their feet. Like he just puts it against him and just boom, like shoots himself in the chest and he falls to the ground like in the movies. That would be great.
I give it a 3 crispy also because it is kind of fucked up too.
Awesome, guys. I wasn't sure. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Okay, well, before you guys rethink it, let's move on.
All right, Misty.
Misty Ray, what do you got for us?
I seem to have a running theme. In every episode, I have at least one story about animals.
Ooh.
Well, animals can be weird. I think that I like it.
This one came from the New York Post. It is a weasel caught breaking into a Japanese kindergarten to steal shoes. Back on the foot fetish. Episode 1.
We're going all the way back to episode 1. Wow. Oh, we had a Greek guy with a foot fetish, and now we have a weasel with a shoe fetish.
Exactly. It started with shoes were disappearing at school. They all thought it was weird. Parents and teachers, after like 15 pairs of shoes were missing, that they thought that they had a pervert or a foot fetish pervert, I should say, roaming the school of a bunch of kindergarteners.
Could you imagine?
So wait, is it the adults that they thought were?
The parents.
Oh, well, that's good.
The parents
It wasn't the
feared
kids
that it was
that they were.
a foot fetish pervert stealing kindergartners' shoes.
Okay. When this was discovered, do you think they came forward, or do you think this was like a big cover-up thing? Like, guys, somebody's going around the school and stealing shoes, and we cannot tell the parents. Like, everybody keep it a secret till we figure out what's going on. Was this do you think it was a big cover-up over
A big
shoes?
PTA meeting?
Yeah, or the other way. Yeah, they went public with it right off the bat. Like, who is stealing shoes from children?
I don't know. So the police thought the shoe thief was on the loose at a kindergartner's school in Japan until security cameras caught a little furry klepto in action.
Furry klepto in action.
A weasel with a tiny shoe in his mouth was spotted on video footage after the police installed 3 cameras in the school.
Okay. All right. So they're looking for a person when they put the cameras in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And a weasel's like 6 inches tall. Like weasels are a really tiny little rodent, right?
They're smaller than ferrets.
Do you think that when they first put these cameras in, they put them for like human height? And then shoes are disappearing and they couldn't figure out how the shoes were disappearing because they weren't in the camera.
I'm guessing it was up higher and probably pointed
Down and got 'em.
down.
I almost wish there would be background story about that even being like worse.
Like adult eye level. Is that what you're hoping for?
Yes, I'm hoping that they're like that was the case. Like we put in cameras and the shoes are still disappearing.
Actually,
what is happening?
I think it'd be better if it was like lower, where the weasel looks
directly
camera.
at the camera, like all cute.
with the shoe in the mouth.
I hope they put up wanted posters. After they discovered it, you had to lean on it and be cute about it. Be like, have you seen this culprit? Just picture this weasel with a shoe in his mouth.
So what happened next?
The vanished shoes were all slip-on shoes that children wore indoors only and were stored in cubby holes near the door of the classrooms. Weasels are known to stash items, and people who keep weasels as pets give them toys so they can hide them. The weasel scattered shoes around and took 15 of them before the police were called.
There was a cover-up. I'm telling you, there was a cover-up.
6 more were taken the following day.
Oh.
So after the police showed up and put the cameras in, the weasel stole 6 more pairs of shoes.
Before they discovered it was the weasel.
Before they discovered it was the weasel.
The crime escalated. You know, they start small, and then once they get a taste for it, the criminals just escalate. He went from 15 over
He
time
knew he was being watched.
to 6 in a row. He just couldn't hold himself. Once they get the smell of shoe, they can't stop.
He knew he was being watched.
Yes.
That's true too. Maybe.
Weasels are little sneaky people. So the weasel did return one more time
To the crime
for
scene.
one more shoe.
Dun, dun, dun.
The camera footage that was put up of the thief was shown to the parents, and as it turned out, the parents were relieved to see that it was a little furry creature because they were all disturbed and thought it was a person stealing shoes for foot fetish.
Well, doesn't this story have a happy ending?
So did they find the missing shoes?
That's actually a good question.
Did they catch the weasel or follow it to find out where the shoes were?
Yeah, because you can't just catch the weasel. If you catch the weasel, he's not going to talk. He's a weasel.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, so you can't catch the weasel. You'll never find the shoes. So you have to.
Okay.
Do you have a weasel follower?
She has more.
Oh,
I have
undercover.
more.
Undercover Operation Weasel.
So they did show the video to the kids. And the
Operation
kids
Popcorn
thought it was
Weasel.
hilarious that it was a weasel stealing their shoes. But although the stolen shoes were never found, the remaining shoes are now safe in the kindergarten's rooms with nets installed over the cubby holes. So the weasel can't steal any more shoes.
I don't know if that's the right solution. Maybe close the doors so you don't have a wild rodent running around in your
Well,
school.
that was my thought, first of all. And number two, why wouldn't you be searching once you found out it was the weasel or a weasel
Put a live trap out.
or a couple?
Because the shoe cubby was outside of the classroom. Why not move it inside the classroom and shut the door? But let's be real, this is a weasel. They're like ferrets. They're going to find their way in.
Oh.
They're kind of like a mouse.
I want to know where the shoes are. I'm with you.
They're probably in the ceiling of the school.
The weasel's putting him somewhere. Either he's got an underground cave or cavern or something. He's hut. What are weasels' houses called? Burrow? Probably a burrow, right? A burrow. Burrow. I would want to know where it is. I would want to stake out and be like, where is the weasel going with all of these shoes?
See, I would be that person to watch for the weasel and follow it to see where it goes.
Yes, I could not end this story. I would need to know where the weasel's going with these shoes. I would have to know. This would drive me insane.
They never caught the weasel and they never found the shoes.
The
But the
Weasel's
kids got a
still out
kick
there.
out of it.
And the parents were relieved.
Yep. No more foot fetishes.
All right. Well,
I seem to have a thing. Foot fetishes in animals.
those dudes seem to be a lot of your stories. I mean, not all of them, but definitely have a fair amount of stories involving these things now.
Yep. Okay, so bring it on. What's my bacon?
That's pretty weird.
For crispy.
Yes.
For crispy?
Yeah.
Ooh, A+. My parents would be happy.
Woo, woo.
A 4 crispy. Oh, whoa. Ooh. Oh, God. Now I feel bad if I don't give a 4 crispy.
You don't have,
Have
to
to
give.
feel bad.
I'm going to go 4 regular bacon strips.
I was waiting for the 4 floppy.
I don't believe in going floppy. I think I go a crispy. I feel like A+ is cool, but A- is just not a cool thing. I will go 4. I'll go 4. I like it, though. That's pretty good. But I do need a follow-up on this. Someone's got to figure out where this little dragon weasel horde of shoes is.
It's a very good
dragon's
question.
horde.
There is a lot of unanswered questions.
Well, once they find it, what other things do you think they're going to find in that hole?
That's true. What else is the Weasel hoarding?
That, they don't. Shoes are an obvious thing, especially if they're shoes that are for indoors. Like if they go outside, they play in a certain shoe, they come in, well, the shoes are missing. So it's kind of hard to wear your indoor shoes if they're not there. But if you have toys that are played with on a daily basis, how do you know which ones are missing?
That's a good point. There could be toys missing. And they're like, oh, the kids misplaced them or whatever. There might be other things missing. Oh, I just had a thought. Somewhere on episode 328, Misty's going to have a story about in Japan, outside of a school, they found a random pile of kids' left shoes and nobody knows where they came from. Everybody's going to forget about this whole Weasel story. Years are going to go by, and then all of a sudden, there's going to be this random found pile of children's shoes, and it's going to become Misty's new weird story for that article.
Weird story.
Weird news story.
Update from 5
Found
years
and
ago.
caved
Yeah, found
outside of a kindergarten school. Guess what was recovered? Shoes.
children's shoes.
Found by a Greek guy.
Yes.
All right, I think that was very good. I liked it.
It was good. Good. stuff.
Stephanie, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, Stephanie, lay it on.
This is from the subreddit Neighbors from Hell.
Bad neighbors. We have good neighbors. I think our neighbors are pretty good. One likes to party a lot, like we do, and one is mostly deaf, so that makes for really good neighbors when you party too often. So, but yes, anyway.
The title is called Our Neighbor is a Psycho. Me and my husband live in a condo. He is a very social person who makes friends everywhere. About a year ago, he met one of our neighbors in the lobby and they chatted. He invited him over for a few beers. They exchanged numbers, and since then, they would call each other once in a while to come over to us and have a smoke or a beer.
Was smoke in quotation marks?
I changed the word. But yes.
Are you censoring our podcast?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
And then one time we called him, he said sorry, but he was busy. And then suddenly, right after that, we got a bunch of text messages insulting us, saying that we are useless idiots with nothing to do while he is a busy man and we should leave him alone. We were a bit taken aback and stopped calling him.
Yeah, that gets a little weird. That's weird enough that you almost wonder if someone stole your phone. Like, hey man, what happened?
It continues.
Oh.
And then a few weeks later, he calls and, as if nothing happens, asks if he can come over and smoke with us. We thought, oh well, he must have had just a bad day. It happens, and let him come over. We asked what that was all about, and he said he was sorry and was stressed. Then after a while, it happened again, and a few more times after that. He hangs out with us, then goes crazy and sends us like 10 messages of insults, and after some time is back again. And yes, we must be too nice or too stupid for letting it happen several times. Around Halloween, he even went to our condo manager complaining we are harassing him. She gave us a call saying that she doesn't know why he came to her and what he expected her to do about us calling him, but that we should be careful because he threatened to call the police.
Okay, but he himself must have gone to the apartment manager, right?
Yes, that's what she was saying.
I think somebody's a little bipolar.
Yeah, he went to the apartment manager. The apartment manager called this couple and said, I'm not sure why he's calling me and complaining to me, but...
Yeah, because up till then, I had a feeling that this guy
He only comes back for the free smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody's trying to quit and going through some withdrawal or something. See, I figured this guy was like some easygoing dude who had a partner that did not like what he was doing and was taking his phone and doing this, but he didn't want to admit it. I thought for sure, until you said that, that was my determination. This guy's like, yeah, man, let's smoke, let's have some fun, let's hang out, drink, party. And then his partner or spouse or whatever would find him and find out about it, and then was the one sending the messages like it's from his phone. I was determined that's what it was until you said the apartment manager thing. But yeah, I'm with Misty. Someone's a little on the bipolar side.
Mm-hmm. A few weeks later, we met in the hall and he starts chatting with me. And we are back with him coming over again.
Okay, you guys are just as fucking weird as he is. What?
Because they keep letting him
him
come back.
Yeah, to be like, nah, man, we're cool. Okay.
One time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me for not paying attention.
By like number 4, and I'm going to call the
Third
police.
time, you're just a dumbass.
Yeah, you're just a fucking idiot.
Then, of course, after one of our calls, he messages us calling us alcoholics and drug addicts who should stay away from him because he's too good to deal with losers like us. And we finally had enough. We answered him that he should go see a doctor because his behavior is abnormal and unacceptable and he should leave us alone himself. A couple of days later, my husband meets him again when he is getting out of the elevator and the guy is waiting for it. He is going for a handshake, telling my husband that there are no hard feelings. My husband tells him to stay the fuck away from us and never talk to us again. This was a week ago. Today, we get messages from him calling my husband a coward for not daring to do anything to him in the elevator and that it's no wonder because he would beat the crap out of him. Saying that he will come up to us and show it to him. We didn't even respond, just laughed a bit that it took him a week to come up with this and that he thinks he could do anything to my husband. He is like 10 years older and my husband works construction and had a few fights in his life, so he could get the guy down with one punch if he'd try anything.
What? You're just as bad. Why would you do... Yeah. Dude, I could kick your ass, dog. Kick your ass. This is a pile of fucking idiots.
Okay. I can understand if the loser who came out with the whole thing wanting to stick up for yourself. I mean, if he threw the first punch, I'm going to knock the fucker out too. I mean, let's be real.
But scrap this guy up as fucking crazy and disconnect. Block the number.
Move to a different condo.
Something.
Call the cops. Put a restraining order on him.
Yes. I don't think there's any innocent party.
Yeah, because this says, now we are saving those texts in case he decides to call police on us for whatever reason. I think you should have called the police.
Like, after the 5th time?
Yeah.
Or how about any time after the fact that he called the manager of the condo association?
Yeah, could you imagine being the manager? Because, you know, now that the managers now talk to both sides of this. And this poor manager is pretty much like they said, like, what the fuck do you want me to do about it? You grow up. Stop being little bitches, both of you. And stop hanging out with the psycho.
The top comment was, I sure as fuck wouldn't have let him come back over the first time he flipped out. But not everyone learns their lesson the first time.
I might have gave him the second. I might have been like, you want to come
after
over,
the
dude?
first
Like,
time,
what
you know.
the hell happened?
Yeah.
I might have gave him the benefit of doubt on a second one. But after that, especially once he's going to the apartment manager. So, are you ready for a bacon rating?
I am ready for a bacon rating.
I'm
going to give it a 3.
Oh, I was going to go first. All right, you're going to give it a 3? I'm gonna go with a 4 regular on this one because I think there's 2 levels of weird. I think there's this weird neighbor who keeps flip flopping is an obvious like
That we
bipolar.
don't know if it's a bipolar thing or if it's a drug related thing.
And the writer, who obviously is weird to begin with. Why would you have the person come over and over again? I'm going to say a 4 because they're each weird. Both sides of this equation are a bunch of weirdos. So I'm going to say 4.
Well, thanks, guys, for your ratings.
You're welcome.
You are welcome. I thought it was good. I liked it. They're crazy.
Bitches be crazy.
Bitches be crazy. I do believe we are back to me then, guys, aren't we?
You seem pretty excited.
1, 2, 3. I am excited, but I am a little scared because this article might be breaking one of our cardinal rules we have about the podcast. But I'm going to do it anyway. If I need to be stopped, you tell me, okay? All right.
Stop.
That was a test run?
No.
No? Okay, I'm going to stop. I'll change it. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Totally different story. Definitely not the one I was just talking about. So I have labeled this one gross abuse of power. This comes to us from a New York Times article. It comes to us from Wikipedia. And
Your favorite book?
I was just going to say that.
I think Scott Matthews might have put it on the book. I don't have it in my notes exactly, but I am pretty sure that I got this, a part of this through Scott Matthews' book. So this is the cardinal rule. Guys, I know we said we'll never do politics on this podcast because it is dangerous to do politics. But it needs to be said. During his presidency, George Bush Sr. declared that he was not going to eat broccoli anymore because he is president and doesn't have to. So
Random.
So you're saying his mother doesn't live with him to tell him to eat his broccoli anymore?
well, that is part of it. So he was president from 1989 to 1993, which doesn't seem that long ago, but that was actually 30 some years ago now. And he is famously known for saying, I quote, "I do not like broccoli. I haven't liked it since I was a little kid and my mother made me eat it. Now I'm president of the United States and I'm not going to eat any more broccoli." End of quote.
So when his presidency was over, did he go back to eating broccoli?
Well, yeah, because Mom would be like, "If you want to get back in, you gotta eat your broccoli."
I'm not going to lie, though. I stopped eating Brussels sprouts after I moved out of the house because I hated Brussels sprouts.
Oh my God, they're the best if they're cooked right.
Well, we like Brussels sprouts that are like cooked in bacon grease, so...
They're not cooked in bacon grease. They're cooked in olive oil with bacon in them and maple syrup.
You make them taste better.
Yes.
I did not
They're
have
not
that
just
luxury
steamed.
growing up.
Although
Yeah.
I do roast them also.
Yeah, I can see it. It's got to be the way it's cooked because I have friends that like salmon, and they're like, salmon is such a delicious like piece of meat. You know, salmon, yum, yum, yum. When I grew up, my mom made salmon, but she made salmon loaf. So think of meatloaf, but you replace the meat with salmon. It was not good. So maybe that's where that's coming from. Maybe George Bush Sr.'s mother, Mrs. Bush, was just really bad at cooking broccoli.
I'll make grilled salmon for you sometime.
Okay, good. All right, I'd like to try that.
With a maple glaze.
We can do a maple glaze.
So George Bush went so far during his presidency on his fight against broccoli that he banned it on Air Force One. So the plane that the President of the United States flies.
Like
flies
nobody was allowed to eat. Sorry.
They were not allowed to have broccoli on the entire plane. There are no broccoli on Air Force One.
Hold up. So is it the smell of the broccoli or the taste of the broccoli that he doesn't like? Because if you ask me, why can't anybody else eat it? Maybe the smell also gets to him. You know, like when somebody brings leftover fish to work and puts it in the microwave.
Oh, that is a cardinal sin. That is just the meanest thing you can do.
Just asking.
It has to be the smell.
It's gotta be. Did anybody ever
Because
tell me?
I wouldn't be the type of person that, I don't like Brussels sprouts, but I would never say it is banned.
Maybe his mom
Do
should have
not
put some
bring-
cheese whiz on it.
Oh, I had those growing up. That was a popular cover up, was the old like cheese whiz on top of broccoli.
Well, that's what happens when you steam your veggies. It's disgusting. It's mush.
George Bush's views on broccoli were seen as an out of touch with Americans, as broccoli became more popular and was referred to as the vegetable of the 80s by the Agricultural Department economist. I'm going to go with it. This guy who knew a lot about agriculture, named Gary Lucier. And in fact, American broccoli consumption doubled between 1980 and 1988. So this was viewed as a negative effect on George Bush's campaigns because of the fact that
He banned broccoli and then it went through the roof because everybody was buying it.
no, he was out of touch with Americans. His dislike for broccoli did not make any sense. It was the vegetable of the 80s. So this broccoli thing became such a big thing back then, even, that there are pictures of his political opponents' wives. So this would be Hillary Clinton and Tipper Gore holding a sign that said, "Let's put broccoli in the White House again." So this whole thing about broccoli was actually seen as a big enough joke that they did that. And when George Bush passed away, his son, George W. Bush,
Please
future
tell me they
president.
put broccoli in his casket because that'd be freaking hilarious.
I don't think they did that, but his eulogy at George Bush Sr.'s funeral, he actually mentioned again his father's dislike for broccoli. So George Bush Sr.'s dislike for broccoli was so infamous that it was actually part of a political thing and brought up at his eulogy. So that is my story about George Bush's abuse of power on broccoli. Is it weird?
I'm going to say it's a 3 weird. I feel like
I say 3 crispy, just because when it's banned on Air Force One.
I'll take 3 and a 3 crispy. Again, I these are better than I thought. I liked both of these stories. I did not think that either of them would be considered that huge on the rating on the weird scale. But I still liked them both, and I felt like I needed to put them both in there. So I will definitely take my 3 and my 3 crispy. So thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Would you like to go next, Misty Ray?
I can do that. So my story is from Oddly Central. It is about a homeowner that removes the doors and the windows after the tenants stop paying rent.
Like for funsies? Instead of eviction notice, you're going to freeze to death.
It's not an eviction, but
It's true.
Okay, what's going on here? I'm missing 2 to 3 pieces of this.
So, a landlord in northern France, so this is in France, is trying to force his tenants to leave in the middle of winter by removing the doors and the windows from the property because they're behind on their rent.
Why wouldn't you just evict them?
Maybe they have different rules in France. Maybe you have to remove doors and windows.
That could
Step
be.
1.
Step 1, remove the doors and windows.
So, in France, as in many European countries, it is illegal to evict tenants in the wintertime,
Oh, okay. It's starting to put it together.
even if they're behind on their rent. You know, that's almost like in Wisconsin or any state that's, well, at least I know in the state of Wisconsin, they don't shut your heat off if you're behind on your bill because it's too cold for you to be living in a home with no heat.
Okay. So all right. So we go as far as saying you can't turn off someone's electric bill or electric or gas or whatever if they haven't paid in winter. These guys go to the next step. You can't even evict them.
Correct.
Ooh.
However, one landlord in France is trying to skirt around the law by forcing his tenants to vacate the property without actually asking them to leave. So on December 20th, a team of workers arrived at the property, started disassembling the doors and the windows under the pretext of replacing them. However, the tenants claim that they loaded them all up in the back of a car and drove away,
If you're the homeowner,
leaving them to brave the cold.
if you're the homeowner, how freaking bitter you got to be about this? Like, okay, let's say rent is $1,000 a month. I have no idea how much the rent is. Let's just say $1,000 a month. And she's how far behind, you say?
5.
5 months. So you're out potentially $5,000, and you got a couple more months of winter to go. Let's say 3-4 months, like $8,000, right? Right, like just as a rough number. So your way of dealing with this is you're going to take a house that I'm assuming has plumbing and walls and everything, and you're just going to expose that to the winter.
Freeze the pipes, let them burst, right?
Freeze the pipes, let them
Ruin
The
Or
burst.
rental
landlord
property?
is trying to.
Yeah, ruin the entire property. Like you are now
Well-
just destroy. You're gonna have snow and whatever coming through onto your walls and floors. Like,
Well, not only that, but like this family says, now they're stuck to brave the cold, but they also have no way to prevent like an intrusion, like anybody coming into their home, to stop them from coming into the home to steal things, hurt them. There's no safety for them.
yeah, this landlord's really fucked up in the head. Somebody's angry. Somebody's angry. This can't be the first time they've dealt with this, or what is going on?
So the tenant, also a mother of one. So it's just a mom and one child.
Does it say how old the child is?
It does not. So if they don't say, I'm assuming under the age of 18.
Okay, go on. Before I ask questions.
Told the TFI info that she tried reaching out to the landlord and he refused to pick up the phone, or he was unable to be reached and went directly to voicemail.
I don't know how it works in France, but wouldn't you be able to take that landlord to court?
Yeah, you would think so. This
It's
landlord.
the middle of winter.
Yeah.
He removed the doors and the windows because it almost sounds like he's purposely doing
Trying to
that
get
to
them
try
to-
to get the pipes to freeze, and so that way he can take her to court to get more money, not only on back rent but for damages.
Oh, like he's gonna blame her? That could be. I mean,
Because it could be easily, it would be easy because once she finds a new place, all he has to do is put those windows and the door back up and say, I never took those off.
Oh, like he could be like really vindictive about this whole thing. Oh, I never thought about that. He could be.
So where I was going with that is, could that woman take him to court, with proof,
Well,
and also
especially if
saying
she has
there's
a
abuse
camera
going on
around.
here. Yeah. There's also abuse going on because she has a young child.
Yeah. Well, here in the U.S., we have something called constructive eviction, which is this entire idea that if you can't live in the place, it is not livable from whatever reason that you didn't cause. It is like being like your landlord kicked you out, and you can actually go for them for not honoring the rental. So let's say that you're renting a house and a pipe bursts. It's not your fault. You didn't cause this pipe to burst. You didn't cause the freezing. It just rotted out or something. And it caused all kinds of damage, and the place cannot be lived in. It's just too dangerous to live in, or
Isn't that the
whatever.
same thing with black mold?
Yeah, it's kind of like a black mold thing. It's called constructive eviction. Meaning the landlord didn't evict you, but they also have a place that you can no longer live in. And there's usually like certain rules. Like if they fix it within so many days, it's considered okay or whatever. But if not, you can get out of your lease, and depending on the circumstance, you might be actually able to go after the landlord for rent, because you're like, hey, I paid to live here for a year. You didn't honor it because you did this, I think. So I feel like France has got to have something like this, right? Like, you can't tell me this person found the perfect loophole in the no eviction rules of something that is well beyond an eviction.
Well, she was left with no other options than to barricade the window and the doors with cardboard because that's all she had. And then she claims that she was too terrified to leave the property. So she pretty much spent all the time at the house. She was afraid to leave it as somebody could just bust into the home and take everything that she has, the very little she has.
To be fair, I'd probably do the same thing.
Probably. Like, what are you going to do? All your stuff is there.
And if she has little...
Yeah. This landlord's a real asshole.
The French Homeowners Association told reporters that they understood the landlord's motives, adding that the method used to convict the tenant to convince them to leaving the property is completely illegal. The
Good.
tenant has filed a complaint for breach of trust and is looking for social housing.
Good. I hope this landlord gets it hard.
Here I was worried they were going to side with the landlord.
Yeah. This guy's a genius. Why didn't anybody think of this? We'll just remove all the windows and doors. Good. I'm glad this landlord is getting taken to the cleaners by not only this woman, but the government housing authority is also agreeing and being like, no.
Well, he
you're
can't
wrong.
lie about it because he told the French media that he did it to get him out because she broke the breach of the contract/deal they made.
This
But
guy,
that's removing the doors and the windows is not the way to go about
yeah, he thought
solving the problem.
he thought he had the perfect loophole. This guy thought he had it figured out. He's like, oh, I have outsmarted everybody.
I want to know if this was all written and signed on contract.
Like the rental contract said that the house is free, but the doors and windows are $1,000 per month rent. Failure to pay, I get to take the windows and doors. Either way, this guy, it's got to be tough to be a landlord when you have people that don't pay rent. I will admit that, but this isn't the solution, and that's just the way the law is. You know, I'm sorry if you don't want to be a landlord because you don't like the way it is, then don't be a landlord or petition to change the laws. But don't be a dick to this one woman or a kid and decide that you're going to do your own little legal experiment against these people. Screw you. I hope he takes it hard and gets screwed because he's being a dick.
I want to know what his penalty was. Like, what did he get charged with on this?
Oh, yeah.
Because it does say that they agree with what, for being behind on the rent, but removing of the doors and the windows is illegal.
We should figure out a way to have some follow-up on these things. We've had a couple. Stephanie, you got kind of an idea through your Reddit and all that and how to keep track of these things and watch for follow-ups. But I would like to know how this lawsuit goes. What happens to this landlord? I would like to know that myself. So I agree.
That's all I have, folks.
Bacon rating.
Peace
I want to go
out.
first. I want to go first in the bacon rating.
No,
Come on. No, I
it's
can go
not
first.
all about you, even though you
But I
think it
never
is.
get to go first.
Fine, then go first. Oh my God.
I'm going to give it a...
No, you took too long.
I'm going to give it a 3 crispy. 3 crispy. 3 crispy. This is definitely a very weird way to try to evict somebody. And asshole rating is a 4 crispy though. Asshole rating 4 crispy, but we've discussed that there are we're keeping to the weirdness rating, and I would say 3 crispy on weirdness because it's a very weird way to try to evict someone. But definitely a 4 crispy for assholeness.
I agree with Trevor.
Yeah, he is kind of a dick.
Are you talking about me or the landlord?
The landlord.
Oh, just check. I'm just checking. I'm
Yes,
just being
you.
honest.
Stop being rude.
Are you ready for a dating story?
Ooh, a
Dating
dating.
story.
From Reddit. The title is called Guy Insults Me the Entire Date.
Oh, fun.
Oh, this sounds like a great date.
Went on a first date. In the beginning, the date was normal and we were both asking those typical get to know you questions. Then he starts mocking me. I talk with my hands, so he starts mimicking my hand movements. I told him to stop. He keeps doing it. He made fun of my California accent because my beach accent makes me sound lazy. Ironically, we both live in a beach neighborhood in California, and our date was in California, only 30 minutes from the beach. But since he is from New Jersey, his accent is better.
What? There's a beach accent?
I don't know.
It's called Barbie Girl.
Like a Valley Girl kind of accent?
Probably.
I guess I've never known. Does California have an accent? I know we're known here. We're Wisconsinites or Midwesterners. So we have a reputation for an accent. We got the, oh, yeah, there, hey. Oh, geez. Oh, good to see ya, yeah.
That's
Kind of like a
the
Canadian.
UP. That's
That's not
we call it
Wisconsin.
UP, but they call all of it Wisconsin. How many times have you? We've only gone out of the country maybe a handful of times ever, but we have been asked if we were Canadian many a times, right?
mostly you.
Mostly me. I just have a little more to yada hey than you do in me.
That's
So,
part of your grandfather and your mother's fault.
oh yeah, that's true. You know, hey, how's the folks doing? Good to see her.
You need to remember, though, that I was in Wisconsin for a little bit, but a majority of my time I was in Virginia.
That's true. That's true. You have a mixed accent.
Sometimes it comes out Southern, sometimes it's Wisconsin. It's just how I feel. Certain words.
It depends on my mood for the day.
Like y'all are crazy.
She's got a little yada hey y'all. So his New Jersey accent is better.
Personally, I don't like New Jersey accents. Sorry, people.
Yeah, which one's the New Jersey one again?
They're kind of like Boston.
like a Boston accent.
Yeah.
But isn't it thicker?
Yeah.
Like a thicker Boston accent?
Somebody do me a Boston impersonation.
No. I'm going to continue reading.
And then how about a New Jersey? No? Okay, we should continue reading.
Told him that I'm Canadian but grew up in California. He told me that I'm too foreign for him.
I don't know, man. Those exotic foreign Canadian girls. He's too foreign?
She's too foreign
She's too
She's
foreign.
she's too foreign
for him, yes.
from Canada. Oh, this guy's a treat.
I told him that I lived in South Carolina for a few years and loved it so much and wanted to move to Florida next. He said the South is disgusting and is only known for incest while he was wearing cowboy boots to our date.
Okay, there's a lot in that sentence. The South is disgusting,
And is only known for incest.
only known for incest, and she says while he's wearing his
Cowboy
boots.
boots.
He's wearing cowboy boots on the date.
So she's
Welcome
obviously
to Texas.
She's obviously imputing some thoughts on guys who wear cowboy boots in there too, right? Like we're not gonna just glaze over that, right?
I think her point is he's saying the South is disgusting, but he's wearing cowboy boots.
Like you would find in the South.
Yes.
All right,
Like-
that's true.
Texas, New Mexico, Nevada.
Yeah.
I mean, New Orleans, you see boobs. You don't see cowboy boots. Maybe.
Yes.
But
And in Tennessee, but because that's the country music.
That's
Dolly
true, too.
Parton and all
Yeah.
of that. Yeah.
Nashville, Tennessee.
The craziest part is while he was insulting me, he would throw in a few compliments saying I'm pretty and very nice. When the date ended, he said he likes me and wants to see me again.
Oh, fuck you.
Why does he want to see me again since he seems to have hated everything about me?
This is my words to him. Why would you want to see me? Obviously, you don't like my accent. You don't like my beach accent. You think I'm going to move to a state that has incest and breeding issues.
And
And I don't have the right kind of accent for you. So that's a big fat no.
she's a foreigner. Remember, she's from that foreign place
Yeah.
of
She's
Canada.
She's too foreign for him.
So there might be a reason this guy's single. I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna guess there's a reason that he might be on the singles list.
Oh, I would have been ripping into his ass while living in New Jersey.
Ask him if he knew everybody from Jersey Shore.
Yeah, were you friends with the cast of Jersey Shore?
I can't think of any Jersey Shore people. Don't they have those?
Do you know Snooki and JWoww?
That's what I was looking for. Yeah, do you know Snooki and Jay? I like it. Yeah. No, I don't think that's a good date. I don't think you agree to a second date with this guy.
He
I
might
think
have knew
that's
some
the
of the new kids on the block.
Are they from New Jersey?
Some of them are from New Jersey, New York, and Boston area.
Mm-hmm.
Joey. And
Joey is from Boston. Sorry.
Are we gonna do a whole quiz? How about what are the new kids in the block?
Donnie and Danny and
Yeah,
Jordan and
where's Jordan from?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought we were onto something. We're getting to Misty's
Mark.
past.
Marky
Misty's
Mark.
past love for New Kids on the Block.
Do you know how long ago that was?
Oh, come on. You can't say that you don't rock out whenever you hear a New Kids song. Come on.
Oh, yo. Wait, is that New Kids on the Block? Who was that one? That wasn't even close, was it?
Oh my god.
That was like one of the cheers from the movie Bring It On.
Pretty much.
I was trying to do New Kids on the
You're
Block.
thinking, oh. That's what you were
the
going
one!
for.
Was that New Kids on the Block?
That was.
Yeah.
You did Bring It On. We did New Kids on the Block.
Right stuff.
Oh, yeah. Can I have my rating, please?
I give you a 3.5 bacon. Trevor, on the other hand, gets a -1.
For not even
on
being
the block.
Yes.
I will
You
give
get just uncooked bacon.
I will give that a 4 bacon strip rating because
God.
this guy's weird, and it might
Sorry,
be a
my face.
reason. There might be a reason that this guy is single, and but at least she has the stories. You know, sometimes the worst days make the best stories. We all know that. So, all right, guys, I think that is all we have time for today. So we have to call it quits on episode number 5. We covered the weird, which is what we are required to do. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Again, like we've always said, please follow us. Please rate us. Please leave us comments. Please tell us how we're doing. We are trying to get better. We want people to know how things are going. We want people to find us. We're hoping to be a big, cool podcast one of these days. So please give us those ratings. They make a huge difference. And comments do too. Don't forget to do those comments. If you're willing to just say, guys, you rock, or say, you should really cover this story, just tell it to us. You can also follow us on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. Check us out. Follow us on those platforms as well. If you have anything that you need us to know about, if you know the answer to some of the questions we brought up today, if you know of weird news stories that have happened, weird Reddit things, or internet at all, especially Facebook. Stephanie does some scouring of the internet, but there's only so many things you can do. And Facebook and like Craigslist, those are always tough to find anything on. So I'm sure she would appreciate any help. I like to look up the interesting facts and history, and I love to get ideas. When someone sends me an idea, like you've heard, we've had a couple of them. When people send those to me, I dig into them. I find lots of information, and I love it. It's one of the favorite things to do, and one of the reasons that I want to be a part of this podcast. We decided to do it. So again, if you want to get a hold of us and send us something, it is weirdwithsideofbacon@gmail.com. Again, no A at all in that. It's just weirdwithsideofbacon@gmail.com. Feel free to send that to us. Again, remember, everybody, keep it weird, because normal is just another word for boring. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.